Howdy, Texas. I want to talk about a very troubling case that we've had a death here in Central Texas that was caused by negligence at a medical spa. In July of 2023, Jenifer Cleveland went into a Wortham, Texas spa called Lux MedSpa for a scheduled IV infusion. She was hooked up to a IV by a person who had no medical license. There was absolutely nobody medically trained on site. She was hooked up to this IV solution, which contained TPN and potassium chloride, and became unresponsive and ultimately had a cardiac event and died. Very tragic situation, but luckily there has been some good come of her death for other folks that she has passed on, and her husband, along with a group of physicians called the Texas 400, led by Dr. Kelly Green, approached State Representative Angela Orr, and this is her district, to write a bill that would regulate the amount of medical training required to start an IV and run an IV infusion. Believe it or not, it's kind of the Wild West out there right now. A medical spa can do amazing things. You would figure if you're going to be hooked up to an IV, you would have some person with medical training or medical license on staff and at that facility, and that's just not the case. But Jenifer's Law was introduced in the Texas legislature this time around, passed the House and the Senate, and I'm pleased to say, as it's labeled HB 3749, was signed by Governor Abbott this last weekend, passing Jenifer Cleveland's law, which will regulate who can hook a patient up to an IV. You know, medical spas, we think they're safe, but they're just highly unregulated. And so if you go into a medical spa, please be very careful. Make sure that it has medical trainees and that it's licensed and regulated and overseen by the appropriate individuals. I should mention that the physician supposedly overseeing this medical spa was over 100 miles away and had really no knowledge of what was being done at that spa at that time. This is a good example of a group of physicians, the Texas 400, working with a legislature who made great strides to pass this bill. Representative Angela Orr. We are so thankful to both of them, those groups, and Representative Orr, for introducing this law that really does help protect Texans. It helps the health of all Texans. It makes medical spas safer, and it was the right thing to do to, at least in part, ameliorate the great loss of this 47-year-old who needlessly died at an unsupervised medical spa. Some good to come out of it. For the betterment of all Texans.